How's it going, y'all? So this past weekend I attended the pre-release event for the new set Mega Evolutions, the first set of the new Mega era. It was so much fun. The second pre-release I've ever done. The first one was Destined Rivals, and I'll for sure be catching every pre-release if I can from here on out. They are a blast, and if you haven't done one, I would recommend it. In true Pokemon content creator form, I'm using Pokemon cards as my tripod because I'm using my real tripod for this nice light back here. What do you think of it? I like it. So in this video, I'm going to briefly talk about what a pre-release event is. I'm going to talk about the cards that I pulled, how I did in the tournament, and what I learned from the cards that were present in the tournament, and what you can keep an eye out for in this new set. And timestamps in the description below. So if you know what a pre-release is, just skip on ahead to the results and cards. So if you're not familiar with a pre-release event, they are events held about 2 weeks before a set comes out, only for mainline sets. They don't do it with special sets like Prismatic, Shrouded Fable, Black Bolt, White Flare, that kind of stuff. So what you're going to do is you're going to get a build and battle box. I'm sure you've seen these on the shelves before, but they're mainly used for pre-release events and tournaments where you build decks with what you pull. So each box is going to contain 1 of 4 randomized promos and miniature decks. The decks will be 40 cards, and so it's like a shrunk down version of a real tournament. For example, here's all 4 promos from like Silver Tempest, my favorite set, so I love this little collection I have here. But they're all going to be stamped with the set logo, and then it's going to have one of 4 cards from the set. Now the box will also come with 4 packs, and whatever cards you pull from the pack you can actually put in your deck. So the pre-release event will start off with a deck building phase where you'll open up your box, see what promo you got, open up your packs, and put together a tiny 40 card deck. Most of the time you'll kind of run with whatever promo deck you get and kind of just make adjustments with a few trainers here and there. But, I mean, if you can get lucky with some super great pulls, you can completely change your deck. You're not locked into your promo, but it's kind of hard to do with only 4 packs. So my promo was the Alakazam promo, which was an all-psychic deck, which was really what I was hoping for. It looked like the strongest of the 4. And I'll go over what 4 promos were in the Mega Evolution box here in a second, so you can prepare if you're going to a pre-release soon. But the Alakazam was great. I ended up going 3-0 in the tournament. Alakazam, I noticed it was kind of a sleeper build because in the beginning of each of my rounds, we did 3 rounds, I was really struggling, really falling far behind. And then once I got my Alakazam set up, I was smooth sailing. And so my deck was kind of a mid to late game build, and I had a comeback for each of my 3 rounds. Went 3-0, first place. Pat myself on the back. Very proud of it because I usually don't do good in these tournaments. But since you're getting a build and battle box, you don't need to bring cards of your own because you're going to be building a deck with whatever you pull. But I will recommend bringing sleeves. Probably most importantly, if you forget everything else, bring sleeves to keep your card protected. Get a playmat and damage counters because you are going to be playing a tournament. So bring whatever you would to a normal Pokemon tournament. You just don't need cards. The 4 promos that came out with this set: Alakazam, which I already mentioned, what I got, which was an all-psychic deck. I had to look it up because I forgot. Lunatone, which I played in the finals. Lunatone is a very strong deck, so it's one to keep a lookout for. Inteleon and Meganium. So let's go over the promos. Alakazam, I'm just going to read it off here so I don't say it wrong. Alakazam's ability allows you, once during your turn, when you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may use this ability to draw 3 cards. And that's important because its move, which only costs 1 energy, that was huge, place 2 damage counters on your opponent's active Pokemon for each card in your hand. So I learned quickly that I need to have a big hand, and I would end up not using any cards, and I had like 20 cards in my hand, and then I could do massive damage for no matter who was up there. Inteleon, its move only costs 1 water energy, so it's really easy to attack with. Water Shot does 110 damage, and you discard an energy from this Pokemon. And Bring Down, which is choose a Pokemon in play that has the least HP remaining except for this Pokemon, and it's knocked out. Crazy. So it's basically like Hydrapple, that card if you have 6 energies, right? I think it's an automatic knockout. So Inteleon would be really great. Well, I was going to say it's really great against Megas, but odds are they won't have the least amount of HP. Either way, it's an interesting card, and it's really great for a pre-release. Because pre-release, you're not going to have Earth and Vessel, you're not going to have a lot of energy draws. And so to have moves that are low energy, it's very important. Meganium is really cool. It's like the Celebi from Pocket. So its ability, Wild Growth, each basic leaf energy or grass energy attached to all of your Pokemon provides 2 grass energy, and this effect doesn't stack. So its move, Solar Beam, uses 4 energies, but with that ability, you just need 2, and it does 140 damage. So interesting stuff. I can see Meganium being really, really beneficial with Venusaur or Mega Venusaur. So cool card. And Lunatone, this was one when I saw the 4 options, I was like, I don't know about that one, but seeing it in action, it was really strong. So Lunatone has a Lunar Cycle ability, which once during your turn, if you have a Soul Rock in play, you may discard a basic fighting energy. In order to use this ability, draw 3 cards, and you can't use 1 Lunar Cycle ability, or you can only use 1 each turn. So good draw engine so you can get the cards you need. And Soul Rock has a move where if you have a Lunatone on your bench, I think it does 70 more damage. And so really, if you pull the Lunatone promo, you're going to want to hope that you pull another Lunatone from your 4 packs, because if you prize your Lunatone, your Soul Rock is going to have less damage. And then also within that deck, you have Garganacl and a rare candy. Garganacl has an ability where each, I think, fighting type does more damage. And then that deck also comes with a stadium that does more damage. And so that deck is really, really strong, and it was hard to go against. The problem with these decks is the promo cards, there's only 1. And so there's only 1 Lunatone, 1 Alakazam. And so if you don't pull another one, you're kind of screwed. Luckily, with the Alakazam deck, I had a card, Lana's Aid, that I made sure to always have in my hand for safekeeping. And what it did is if my Alakazam was knocked out, I could use Lana's Aid to get it back in my hand and play it the next turn. So even with only 1 Alakazam, I was able to rotate it and keep it in action, so my opponent couldn't overwhelm me because that was my main attacker. Now the Alakazam deck does have another, is it Miltank? I'll put it right here to the side. Its ability where, yes, it has an ability where once you evolve it, or the turn you evolve it, you can look at a certain amount of cards on the top of your deck and play some Psychic Energies. And so it's a good accelerator for energies for your Xerneas, which uses 3 or 4 energies for a pretty strong attack. And then if you need to load up that 1 energy on Alakazam, you can. So each deck I played against, I wasn't too familiar with the Meganium and the Inteleon because I didn't play those. Or play against those. Oh, scratch that. I did play against Inteleon, but they used Kyogre as the main attacker, so I don't know enough about it to speak on it. I mainly played the Lunatone and the Alakazam. But I was surprised. Sometimes in pre-releases, the balance isn't great. Like with Destined Rivals, Team Rocket's Mimikyu was one of the promos, and there were no Terra Pokemon in Destined Rivals, and Mimikyu, its main attack, uses Terra Pokemon to attack, and so it wasn't really balanced, but I feel like the Mega Evolution pre-release was very balanced. Now, if you're going into a pre-release, I would recommend you get familiar with the upcoming cards from the set. I went in completely blind, which wasn't a good move. It kind of took me a bit longer to build my deck. But I had some friends there that could help me, and they were like, hey, keep an eye out for this card, so I knew what to look for. But I definitely, if it's your first pre-release and you're kind of new to playing, I would do some research on some of the cards in the deck or in the set that you kind of want to seek out. And then also keep in mind, so Mega cards, if they get knocked out, you take 3 prizes. With a tournament using 40 cards, you only have 4 prizes. You don't have 6. So if you play a Mega and your opponent takes it out, they just need 1 more prize card. And so odds are, 1, you have to pull a Mega, and then you have to actually have it usable in your deck. So you won't see too many Mega Pokemon being used in the pre-release tournament. But if you happen to get lucky, keep that in mind. So unless you can like be really sure that you can set up your Mega quickly and attack hard, I would be weary of using it because of the hefty prize cost. In my tournament, most of the people using Megas in their deck didn't place in the top half. Now, I don't know if that's because they had a Mega and they were susceptible to high prizes, but I know the best performers of the tournament were people who just used the deck with a few adjustments that came in the box. Another note that I noticed, very interesting with the Mega Evolution set, there's a lot of new stadiums that are going to be very powerful for one color decks. So the Surfing Beach is like basically a free retreat for water Pokemon. If you have Surfing Beach in play, you can retreat your water Pokemon as long as you replace it with another water Pokemon. And then there's one, I forgot what it's called. It's not Grand Tree, but it's very similar, the A-Spec. I'll put it on the screen, but it's basically Grand Tree for leaf Pokemon or grass Pokemon, where you can evolve twice in one turn, which is going to be crazy for the Meganium, the Venusaur. So I can see a resurgence in kind of grass type decks. We haven't really seen those in the meta in quite some time. I hope this video kind of gave you some insight on what to look for, what performed well. Again, remember, look out for Lunatone and Alakazam. They are great, but I feel like overall, all the decks were pretty balanced. So overall, just have fun with it. I mean, you're building a deck based on random luck on what you get, so don't put too much pressure on yourself. So have fun.